Wow. Hello, everyone. Wow, wow, wow. Can you imagine? I logged in earlier and then what happened? I don't know what happened. So, you're welcome to today's live session, today's webinar, Conversations with Oluwatoyin Ogunkomi. And today we have another interesting conversation we're going to start talk about, and it's simply parenting with intentionality. And today we'll be talking about how parents can create a positive childhood experience for their children so that their children do not have mental health issues, or their children do not have negative impacts when they grow older. One of the things you need to know, every adult you see out there today was shaped by an experience he or she did not have anything to do with. And are shaped by most of our experiences are shaped by either our parents, our environment, or the way we're nurtured. And that's why today we're talking about positive childhood experiences, how you can create a positive childhood experience for your child. Now, before we go into what a positive childhood experience, one of the things we need to know about creating positive childhood experience is that every moment you spend with your child, every time, every engagement you have with your child is an opportunity for your child to learn, to build resilience, and also to create positive memories. Now, these memories are things that will help your children when they become adults. And like I said when I started, I said every adult you see out there was shaped by an experience or by experiences in their childhood which they did not have anything to do about. And these experiences could either be due to the parents, the environment, or the way they were raised. And when in psychology we talk about positive childhood experiences, we also talk about negative or adverse childhood experiences. And science has shown that any experience your child has gone through before the age of 18 would have a great impact on this child by the time the child becomes an adult. So we have adverse childhood experiences, we have positive childhood experiences. For adverse childhood experiences, they are traumatic events that can negatively impact the health and well-being of your children when they become adults. Now, these other childhood experiences have been divided into three. We have abuse, we have neglect, and we have household dysfunction. Yesterday, I was having a conversation with a young man, and as at the time I started having this conversation with this young man, I just knew that something happened to this young man, because a normal person should not be talking or reasoning the way this particular person was talking and reasoning. And by the time we went into conversations, he now told me that, oh, while growing up, he grew up in a dysfunctional home. He grew up in a home whereby there was neglect, and there was a form of abuse. And I asked that, have you seen a psychologist? I just asked, randomly, that I have you seen a psychologist? Are you in therapy for things you've gone through? And the person ended up telling me that, oh, that he even had a psychotic episode while growing up. So adverse childhood experiences are those traumatic events that can negatively impact the health and well-being of individuals when they become adults. And today we'll be talking about how you can create a positive childhood experience for your children. And when we talk about positive childhood experiences, what are they? These are everyday interpersonal connection. Positive childhood experiences are everyday interpersonal connections that support the healthy development and build resilience in your children. And the thing about parents is that you need to understand both sides. You need to understand how you, as a parent, you have a strong say in the adult your child will become tomorrow. Parents who do not know this just raise their children anyhow. And that's why the topic for today says parenting with intentionality, building children who have resilience based on how you raise them. You need to understand that as a parent, you have a strong say in the adult who your child will become tomorrow. Now, children, adults who are flourishing today, part of the reasons they're flourishing today is because they grew up in homes that were peaceful, homes where there was interconnectivity, homes where there was healthy communication and healthy relationship. Now, as parents, we have to be intentional in creating these positive experiences for our children so that they would build resilience, so that even if issues comes up in future, they are so equipped to handle this stress and handle them maturely. Like I was saying about the gentleman I met yesterday, something little happened to him. I just met just a random person I met, and we started having a conversation. Something little happened to him, and the guy was just powering all over. And this was due to the fact that he has not been able to learn how to manage his emotions. The person has not been able to learn how to manage adversity. And that's why it's important as parents that you are here, you're listening to me. You can share this with your friends, share this with people who might need to who are raising children and who need to learn more about this. My name is Oluwatoyin Ogunkomi. For those who don't know me, for those who are just joining, I'm a family psychologist. I work with parents, I work with adolescents, I work with individuals, and I work with organizations in providing tools and resources to live a thriving life. So studies have shown that there's a strong link between adverse childhood experiences and increased risks of mental health issues, substance use disorders. A particular study I listened to where the lady said that, I think I have it in my book here. The lady said that most adults that went through childhood negative childhood experiences, that they tend to have, okay, it says here that one in six individual has experienced one in six individual has experienced adverse childhood experiences. It says that those who have experienced adverse childhood experiences, they are four times likely to experience depression. They are seven times likely to be dependent on alcohol and opioids. They are 10 times likely to be dependent on opioids. They are seven times likely to be dependent on alcohol. And they are 2.5 times likely to develop heart disease, three times likely to develop chronic lung disease and autoimmune disease. So it's very important as parents that you provide that resource for that, you provide that positive childhood experience for your children, so that when they grow older, they don't have they're not having either a mental health disease or a health issue, or they're not even addicted to substances, or and all these things I've mentioned. Now, what are these adverse childhood experiences? Like I said when I started, I said they've been divided into three major categories. The first category is abuse. The second category, so the first category is abuse and neglect. The second category is household dysfunction. And the third category is violent exposure. Now, under abuse and neglect, any child who has been physically, emotionally, or sexually abused before the age of 18, there's a likelihood of the child or the individual developing those disorders I mentioned earlier. Also, individuals who have experienced physical or emotional neglect, there are every likelihood that they would experience some of those dysfunctions I've listed. Also, children who grew up in homes that were not functioning well, either the parental substance abuse, maybe there was mental illness, maybe there was divorce or separation, or maybe there was incarceration in the family, maybe a family member went to jail. they're likely to experience these disorders when they grow older. And the third category is violence. If a child has witnessed domestic violence or community violence or has experienced war, that child might likely have a mental health or behavioral or a physical health challenge. Now, what do you do as a parent? Your role as a parent is to ensure you create interpersonal connection and positive experiences for your children. Ensure that you support your children in healthy development by either buffering against adversity or ensuring that the home environment and the experiences they're going to go through will be positive. I know once in a while they might experience just a little, but if it's consistent, if this child is experiencing all these negative things consistently, it will affect the child. So what are the things you can do as parents? I have so many things that I highlighted out. I'm going to start discussing them with us. The first thing we can do as parents is to ensure that we have a connection with our children. We love our children unconditionally. We love them and we show them that we love them unconditionally. And we have a nurturing relationship with our children. When you foster a positive, caring relationship with your children, if once a child can have this nurturing relationship with their parents or with their caregiver, and this relationship is consistent, this child would flourish. Your child will be emotionally stable and your child will flourish. So as parents, let's be present, let's be responsive, and let's be emotionally available for our children. This will help them to grow grit, to grow resilience, and to flourish when they become adults. Another thing we can do for our children is to encourage positive connections with their teachers, their mentors, their coaches, or even a neighbor that shares the same values with you. Because this additional adult relationship would help them and provide them with support and guidance. I remember when my children were younger. In fact, let me start with my first son. When I got married, my mother-in-law's house not far from my house, my parents' house not far from my house. So my children, when we're in Lagos, they had that family support. Them both grandparents were available. That's my mother-in-law, my dad, and my mom. They were available. Them siblings too. They had uncles and aunties around them, and these are those connections that would help them. And I did something recently, so my oldest son went to serve in Lagos, so he split. So my children school, they schooled in Lagos, and for every holiday they go back to the grandparents' house, and this is to foster that extra connection, because they need, apart from you their parents, they also need to connect with other adults who would share, who will have positive impact in their lives. This additional adult relationship will provide them with diverse sources of support and guidance. Now, not just this, another thing you can do for your children is to ensure that your home is safe, also to ensure that they also engage in activities that will promote resilience and activities that will promote grit. These are very, very important for your children. So ensure that your home is safe. Ensure that places they're going to go to play, if they're going to go to a neighbor's house, if they're going to play outside, those places are safe. It will also help them to build social skills and self-esteem. Every child you see out there needs this. If they don't have this positive childhood experiences, when they grow older, and that's one of the things I'm seeing that is lacking with this generation, because apart from their parents, apart from them going to school, Most times our children are just indoors. They don't interact with the neighbors. They don't interact with even other family members because everybody is living in that cocoon, that's just me and my family thing. And it's not nice. Your children need to be able to go to the park. Your children need to be able to, interact with people outside. And that's why it's always important when you're getting a home, or you're building a home, or you're buying a house, do it in an environment with people that might share your same values, so that your children will not always be in the house, because children need the sunlight, they need vitamin D, very, 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 very important. So another thing we can do for our children now, apart from these three things I've mentioned, you building or fostering a positive relationship with them, having other adults who can provide them with diverse sources of support and guidance, ensuring that your children, your home environment is safe, and that they engage in other fun activities that will promote social skills and also promote their self-esteem. What are the other things you can do as parents? In creating a positive home environment, number one, you have to learn to listen actively, truly hear them, and validate their feelings and experiences. I remember I had a session with someone in the past, and the person was telling me that, oh, he went through certain negative experiences that he actually assumed that his parents should have noticed the changes in him, but they did not. And because of that, the child was always angry towards his parents. Now, as parents, it's important that you watch your children. When you see there's a change in the way they talk, in the way they behave, ask questions. And please don't be too quick to jump to jump to conclusion. Do you understand? Be able to actually listen to them, have conversation with them. One of the things with our children is that if we do not have conversation with them, if we do not have this connection with our children, it will be very difficult for us to know what is happening with them, and for us to be able to train them right. Recently, I had a conversation with someone, who was telling me about the child that it seems like the child has a dual when the child is at home, like the child exhibits another behavior. And as parents, if you are too harsh with your children, if you are too strict, you're not that parent that you're not that parent that can provide that enabling environment for your child to grow. It will be very difficult for your child to open up to you, and for you to know who the child is. And this is one of the greatest fear of parents, not knowing who their children are. So as parents, it's very important that you create that home environment where your children can speak with you. It's in the process of them being able to speak with you and open up with you, you will be able to create that positive home environment for them. So, active listening skills. Another way you can create a positive home environment for your children is to establish predictable schedules. This provides them with a sense of security. When your child knows what is expected, or when I wake up in the house, I know mommy will be at home, or I know daddy will be available, or when I come back from school, I know this is, compared to when your child doesn't know what is happening. Your child doesn't know if she gets home now. Maybe police have come to carry mommy. If I get so maybe when I wake up now, no mommy or no daddy is there. So when your children have predictable schedules, it provides a sense of security for them. When there's consistency in their daily routine, when there are better routines or rituals, when as a family you have traditions, this creates a stable foundation for your children. I remember, so my husband did and turned 50 this year, and so normally in our family, once it's 12 midnight, on the person's birthday, we all go into the person's room, we sing happy birthday, we present our gifts and do all that. On this particular birthday, my youngest son was not with us. So it was myself, my daughter, and my oldest son. And as we were walking towards the place where my husband was, guess what? My younger son was calling, because that is our family tradition. That once it's 12 midnight, we, irrespective of where you are in the world, you call and you wish the person happy birthday. So Christmas time, what tradition do you have? Easter period, what tradition do you have? What tradition do you have on Sundays? When you create this stable family tradition, when there's consistency in your home, when there are predictable schedules in your home, it provides your children with a sense of security and provides them with a stable foundation. As parents, these things are very, very, very important. If you do not do this, your children, once there's that inconsistency in their lives, it will affect them. The another thing is that we also need to encourage our children to explore. Yes, encourage them to explore, encourage them to learn from play and discovery. Provide them with age appropriate opportunities to be independent and to problem solve. If as a parent you are the one solving all the problems for your children, your child will not be independent. Your child will not be able to think for themselves, or your children will not be able to think for themselves. And this will affect them, especially for some that might either travel out of the country or might go to another state to study, because this is when you see children getting involved in all sorts of negative behaviors and vices. So from the house, encourage your children to explore, encourage them to learn through play, encourage them to ask questions, encourage them to problem solve. This would help them a lot. Another thing we can do as parents is, let's also celebrate their strengths. Let's not look always at their flaws. As parents, it's very easy for us to say, every time you talk too much, you talk too much. Let that child turn that talking too much into something positive. I remember there was a time I gave my daughter an assignment to go and write. She did a video. Why? Because she loves to talk. So as parents, identify your children's strengths, work on their strengths, celebrate their strengths, and this will help them. Then, as parents, things you can do to build that connection. Have daily check-in conversation with your children. This is one thing I practice a lot. My children are, so I only have my daughter around. My older son and my younger son, they are both not in the house. But ensure that I have conversations with them every day. It's either I send a text, a voice note, I listen to them, I do a video chat. Why? Because I need to check in with them daily. Minimum 10 minutes daily, or 10 minutes even too much. You can do, for those, if you have children outside the home, you could do 10 to 20 minutes. If you have a children in the house with you, do daily check-in, ask questions. Oh, tell me about your day. What was the most important day? What did you like about your day? Have conversations with them. This is how your child will know that, oh, mommy loves me, daddy is interested in me, oh, mommy and daddy wants the best for me. Do you understand? So have daily check-in conversations with them. Use more of encouragement rather than criticism. I know it's easy for us to pick out faults in them. It's very easy to pick out faults in your children, but please encourage them. Encourage them. Then this one I'm about to say, a lot of parents don't do this. Apologize when you are wrong. Yes, I said it. Apologize when you're wrong. A lot of parents don't do this. You need to learn to apologize when you're wrong. It's important as parents that your children should see that you are human. You're not that superpower, superhuman. You make mistakes too. You have flaws too. But when you try to project yourself as holier than thou, when you project yourself as a flawless being, your children will tend to hide their mistakes from you, and that's where lying comes in. So please, when you've done something wrong to them, apologize to them. I spoke about creating routines family rituals, meal time, bonding time, very, 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 very important. When we talk about creating positive childhood experiences, it's not in the big things. It's basically in those little, little things that can create emotional safety for your children. When your children feel safe to express their emotions without fear, this would help them in terms of being in terms of having resilience, and also in it helps them in the identity formation. It's very important as parents that we do these things. We shape our children positively. Emotional stability, very important. Confidence and identity, very important. Healthy relationships with them, very important. And guiding them to build resilience under stress, very, very important. So I'll be stopping here for today. So for parents who are just joining, or just you're just joining, we've been talking about how you can parent your children with intentionality, how you can create positive childhood experiences with your children. I spoke about the research that has gone on that individuals who experience adult childhood experiences before the age of 18, they tend to have lots of negative adverse, it has a lot of impact on their lives when they grow older. So what are those impacts? Let me read them out again. Because this was a research that was done and I had to write it out because I just think that this is something we all need to discuss. It says that those who experience adverse childhood experiences, they are 4 times likely to experience depression. They are 7 times likely to be dependent on alcohol. They are 10 times likely to be dependent on opioids. They are 2.5 times likely to develop heart disease, 3 times likely to develop chronic lung disease, and also autoimmune disease. So as parents, please, I'm begging, let's create positive childhood experiences for our children. Please, it's very important. Let's create positive childhood experiences for our children, because when you do this, it helps them when they become adult. It has a great impact on them when they become adult. If we say that, oh, I'm doing my best, can your children talk to you? Can your children walk up to you and tell you that, oh, they have a problem? If your children do not feel safe to express themselves around you, that means that your home is not conducive. That means you've not created a positive home environment for them. Do you have a strong emotional bond with your children? Do you speak with them one on one daily? When speaking with them, do you have eye contact? Do you listen? Do you touch them? Do you understand? These are little things you can do that can build connection and attachment with you. And I also spoke about predictable environment. That once your children have predictable schedules, it builds security, it builds stability in their lives. And how do you do this? Ensuring you have routines, clear expectations, and as parents, ensure you keep your promises. Not that you tell them, oh, I'll buy something for you today, and the next day you don't do it. Also, let's affirm their strengths. Let's avoid constantly comparing them or picking at their flaws. This ain't good, guys. Then also, let's celebrate their efforts, not just the results. So recently, my oldest son just passed a CIS exam, Chartered Institute of Stockbroking, and we saw the way he read. You could see that the guy. In fact, my mother-in-law, I say he stays with my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law said, ah, he read that, him passing his exams is that she saw that he read. So let's celebrate their effort, not just the result, right? And as parents, let's also model the right things we want to see in our children. Please, I'll be stopping here now. I also want to use this opportunity to talk to parents that we are starting for the month of May. It's all about how you can build a thriving family, and we are having a 4 weeks training every weekend. We'll be talking about different ways parents can build a thriving family for their children. If you don't build a thriving family, if you do not create a positive home environment for your children, like I said, they are likely to encounter mental health challenges, physical health challenges, and also substance use. Please, let's let's just do this. So let me see, do we have questions? Oh my goodness. Do we have questions? Do you have questions? If we have questions, let me know. If we have questions, let me know. Do we have questions? Do you have questions? Yes. Thank you so much, Faith, for being our scribe for today. Thank you so much. So if we have any question, please let me know. Put it in the chat box. I'll get back to you. I will respond. If you have any question, yes, it's very important as parents we create a positive environment. Our children can speak with us freely. Yes. Create predictable schedules for your children. Yes. Thank you so much for being our scribe. 7 times likely to be dependent on alcohol. Yes. I also spoke about 10 times likely to be dependent on opioids. I spoke about 4 times likely to experience depression, 2.5 times likely to develop heart disease and chronic liver disease. So it's important as parents that please we ensure we create a positive home environment for our children so that they can thrive. So expecting to see you guys in the program we're having, building a thriving family. And thank you so much. Have a nice evening. And I apologize again for the mishap, the network issue. But yes, we all know network. Thank you so much. So if you have a question, I will come back to the chat box to read. If not, let's meet in the group. Thank you so much. Have a nice evening, everyone. Bye. This ain't right, guys.